What is up, Auburn fans? How about the Auburn Tigers moving to 2-0 on the year, beating Ball State 42-3 last night. Impressive win at home in front of the Auburn faithful. What an atmosphere, the fireworks, the fourth quarter. The start of the fourth quarter was great, and I really feel like this fan base deserved every bit of what they got. Your Auburn Tigers coming home 1-0, like I've mentioned it multiple times. It's something that you really haven't felt in a couple years. And then you have the Pat Dye tribute, and you see his name on the field, and like my buddy Brett said, kind of got teary eyed with it last night. Kind of got a little teary eyed, and the emotions were high. And you see an undefeated Auburn team, and then earlier in the day, what I think is really big for Auburn fans is you watch Baylor just scrap, fight, claw SMU and find a way to win a game. And SMU's a ranked opponent, y'all. That was a playoff team last year. That was a team that played in the ACC championship last year. So a lot of these people who were like, oh, well, Auburn just beat Baylor week one. Well, no, we just beat the Baylor Bears, who were predicted to be the Big 12 champions. And now we see them go on the road, and they walk into SMU, come down 10, come from behind, down 10 in the fourth, go to OT, and they beat SMU, the number 17 ranked team in the country, who played in the ACC championship game last year and went to the college football playoff. I think that's real exciting for the Auburn faithful, and I think that's something to get pumped up about. And they've even talked about how it looks pretty dang good on the resume now. And, hey, we wake up this morning, we look at the AP poll, and the Auburn Tigers are ranked 24th in the country. So I think you got to be feeling pretty dang good if you're an Auburn fan right now. I really do. I think you got to wake up and you got to say, hey, it's different around here. It feels different, at least. I know it's still early. It's only 2 weeks in, but it feels different. It doesn't feel like the previous 5 years, right? Before we get into this game, I see a couple of you in here in the comments. I want to kind of get over here and touch these real quick. Mike says, War Dam Eagle fam, how about that top 25? Yeah, man, it just feels different right now. Feels good to be back for sure. Brett says, War Dam fam, War Dam Brett, how are we doing on this Sunday afternoon? War Eagle fam, another fun day of Auburn football, finally ranked. Yes, ma'am, Miss Devin, finally. Glad to be back, man. Glad to be back. I said it earlier, last night was amazing. Felt like the old days when I used to go to clubs with the light show, the lasers, the fireworks, and the music. Yeah, I've even had Bama fans text me today and say, hey, this was elite. Like, this was an elite fourth quarter entrance for the Auburn Tigers at home. Like, they really, really were impressed by it. Number 24, 9-time national champs. Love that. Miss Evans says, wild to me that people are still managing to be negative about Jackson Arnold. Despite all the struggles, he still managed to go 24-28 for 250 plus and 3 TDs. What the heck else do you want? Yeah, that's something that I just kind of feel like that's where Auburn football is at right now. You know what I mean? 1 week it's, oh my God, Jackson Arnold's great. And then the next week it's, oh my God, here's Jackson Arnold. Like, our passing game isn't where it needs to be. What did he do wrong? I'll tell you the biggest thing he didn't do wrong. He didn't turn the ball over. All right. You didn't see him out there throwing pick sixes or anything like that. What did he do wrong? I think Hugh puts a big emphasis on ending every drive with a kick. And what has Jackson Arnold done so far this year? He has ended every drive with a kick. So what are we complaining about? Was everything last night pretty? No, but I felt like it was kind of forced at the beginning of the game. I even texted Dustin last night. I said, dude, I just kind of feel like they're forcing it a little bit instead of just letting the game flow and come to them. They're trying too hard to get this passing game going. That's just how it felt to me. And then I think once they settled in, he got comfortable, they started running the ball a little bit, it opened up and it started flowing. I think Jackson Arnold's really, really accurate with the football. And I think he makes great decisions. Now, last night, was he holding on? Was he holding on to it a little too long? Yes, he was. But like I said, I felt like it was a little forced. And even Hugh, at the end of the game, when he was going into the locker room to do his presser, they stopped and they're like, Hugh, how about the passing game? And he was like, well, I felt like I didn't put Jackson in the greatest of spots early. It was like there was some times where, it was probably on me. And I think that was the first one or two drives where it felt really, really pressed. So I was super critical last night, but after rewatching the game, I have to take my hat off to the game plan and the execution. Look, it's just one of those where you try to get better, right? I think you just try to get better. You don't want to get anybody hurt. You don't want an Eric Singleton Jr. to re-aggravate an injury. It's one of those games where you want to try to get through it, try to get better, cut down on penalties, don't turn the ball over, and just get out of there with a clean, comfortable win. I don't think you really have to go out and beat somebody 77-6 or 77-10 or nothing or whatever. I don't think you have to do that. I think you just got to go in and get better each and every Saturday. And if it happens to, work out like that where you do score that many points, that's great. I did think we were going to see 3 quarterbacks play last night. Come to find out, we only saw 2. And a little bit of that was it didn't get opened up as quickly as we thought it would. Right, like we thought that Jackson might only play a half, and then Deuce would get the third, and then Ashton would get a little bit of the fourth quarter. So it didn't work out like that. Deuce Knight did come into the game. I do want to talk about him real quick before we really get started, because I know the fan base, they want to hear all about Deuce Knight. And so he gets in the game. And I tell you what, he had some hiccups. He looked like a freshman, but I really, really liked what I saw from Deuce Knight. And others might disagree, but that RPO throw over the middle on that slant, that was electric. I said, hey, he's got it, man. He's got it. That's a throw right there. Now, the out was a little off. That could be timing. That could be chemistry. I think he's a freshman. He's still got things to work on, right? Like, he's still got time to improve. He's still got time to get better. He's not going to be playing in, significant games this year unless Jackson Arnold gets hurt. So it's not really something that we got to worry about right now. But I thought for his first snaps as an Auburn Tiger, he does have to protect the football a little bit better, and those were 2 hiccups. But I thought he looked really, really impressive, man. I really did. I was very pleased with what I saw from Deuce Knight. We'll get to Sylvester Smith because that's that action. That is that action. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and talk about Sylvester Smith. Let's go ahead and get into it, Mike. Before we start talking about the statistics and things like that of this football game, Sylvester Smith did not duck the smoke. Sylvester Smith went and got about that action, as I like to say. He was headhunting last night, and the fact that they even went to a review on that one hit is absolutely wild. That's what football has come to. These reviews, I agree with the broadcaster last night. He said that we got to get this fixed. All right. He said we can't keep going to review every 5 minutes and taking 3 to 4 minutes to work out these reviews and things like that. Look, y'all, football is a violent sport. You're going to get hit. You're going to get popped. Your head is going to whip back. That's just part of it. That's part of the game that we play. It's just violent. And us going to check for targeting every 3 minutes it's gotten out of control. I'll tell you, it has gotten out of control. But I thought Sylvester Smith was sending a message to the other Auburn DBs. I thought the tackling was better. I thought the pursuit to the football was better. I really, really enjoyed watching that Auburn defense work last night. Now, granted, Ball State did not have a quarterback. So, let's see how it works out next week. We got South Alabama, but Ball State, they just couldn't throw the ball vertically down the field. there was nothing Auburn had to worry about. They even tried on the opening drive, and I think he threw it out of bounds. So I think Auburn come in there, pin their ears back. They had a plan, and you go get the quarterback, and you knew they were going to try to run the ball because they just can't push the ball downfield. So I think the Auburn defense sent a message last night. They're out for blood, man. And one thing I do like about the Auburn defense is I like how last night they were all in pursuit. They were popping. They were enjoying it. They were celebrating. They were having fun, man. You saw a team out there, right? You saw a group of individuals that were like Jared Smith. Great point, Brett. You saw freshmen get out there, puppies get out there. You saw guys get out there, man, and they were really having a fun time competing at the highest level. So that is one thing I really enjoyed from the Auburn defense. Excuse me. Now, I do want to get over here before we get into the stats. Let's talk about the offensive line, and I'll give a quick take here. I think the Auburn offensive line, the last two games, or the first two games of the season, whatever you want to say, they have been, I'll say it, they've been bad the first two drives of each game. All right. I feel like they have been bad the first two drives. Now, I feel like they've gotten really good as the game progresses. After that first drive, they wipe it out. They come back out there, and they've been really good the rest of the way. I think Connor Lew had a hiccup last night. That's okay. Gonna happen. He cleans it up. He's the leader. He's the guy. I think, what was it, Mason Murphy? I believe it was Mason Murphy that got beat one time right there, and Ja got sacked. But, man, as the game moves on and they get going and they start gelling, I think it really gets better for that offensive line. And that is one thing I liked, man. I think they're really good in the run game. I think they're pretty solid in pass protection. So I'm really pleased with the Auburn offensive line so far. Now, I do think when we get to Oklahoma, that will tell all. That will tell us a whole lot about where Auburn sits for the 2025 college football season. So can't wait to see it. Like we said, let's get over here to the stats, man. Ball State, Kelly, the quarterback, like I told you on the preview, he can't throw the ball vertically. Told y'all today, Auburn could not. They did not respect him passing the ball vertically down the field. He was 10 of 16, 71 yards. Those were similar numbers to the yards he put up against Purdue. Their rushing attack was absolutely shut down. It was shut down. The Auburn defense 8. Ashley, their big ball carrier against Purdue, he had 12 carries for 10 yards, y'all. 12 carries for 10 yards. And then Kelly, he tried to run it. He got sacked. He was running around for his life back there. When you factor all of that in, he ended up with negative 21 yards. So very crucial for the Auburn Tigers to go get their guy. And you made them no-dimensional. People will say, well, you want to make a team one-dimensional. Well, Auburn made them no-dimensional because they can't throw the ball. They couldn't run the ball. So there was no way for them to actually move the ball. And I think Auburn took their soul, as I like to say. When you take a team's soul, you can tell, and Auburn did that. So they had 33 total carries for minus 3 yards after all the sacks and all that stuff. And all the running around from the quarterback and, all that good stuff. So Auburn shut their offense down. They had 68 yards of total offense, y'all. They had 68 yards of total offense. That's bad. That's bad. That is truly bad. Now, we talked a little bit about Jackson Arnold, 24-28, 251 yards, 3 tutters. Deuce Knight was 2 of 5, 20 yards. Like I said, I thought he made the really good throw in the RPO. Was impressed with him. Loved the big, long run to pick up the first down. I think it was like 3rd and 15. Deuce looked pretty comfortable out there, especially after the fumble happened. But I thought Jackson controlled the game. He didn't turn the ball over. I thought he played really well. There was just a couple of hiccups with not getting the ball out on time and kind of just trying to sit back there and force it downfield. And I think Hugh will be better next week with Jackson and putting him in better situations like he highlighted. Auburn's rushing attack. Jeremiah Cobb, 11 carries, 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jeremiah Cobb's here. He has arrived, and I think him and Damari are going to be a two-headed monster to deal with this year. Have fun trying to stop them, man. They're going to be really, really talented. And sorry, y'all, I keep watching NFL Red Zone. But they're going to be really, really talented. And Darrell Robinson showed you that he could get up and get out the gate last night. He had 2 carries for 54 yards with a touchdown. And how about our guy, Brett? Omar Mabson got in the game, had 4 carries for 25 yards. I mean, ran the piss out of the ball. I loved how this kid runs the football. I thought he was super impressive. Going to be a star on the Plains for the Auburn Tigers. Really, really impressed with Omar Mabson. Cam Coleman, highlighted, only had 1 catch against Baylor. Had 7 last night for 77 yards. He absolutely stiff-armed a man into the earth. It was flashbacks of Sammy Coates last night at Texas A&M. I didn't know which one it was. With Cam wearing his number, Sammy wearing his. I said, hey, was that 8 or was it 18? Because he stiff-armed him into the earth, into the crust. And I said, whew, not to mention, right out the gate, he's jumping over people. Cam Coleman's an athletic freak. He's an athletic freak. People are like, oh, well, I had an Alabama fan on Facebook saying, well, Cam Coleman's going to transfer. He only got the ball 1 time against Baylor. Why? Why would Cam Coleman transfer? Everybody, these pro scouts, they know where Cam Coleman's going. They know it. He's going first in the NFL draft. It's not hard to figure out. So he's going to play 1 more year at Auburn, and then he's gone. Regardless if he gets the ball 1 time against Baylor. You can tell. You can tell. He's going first round in the NFL draft. Eric Singleton Jr., 4 receptions, 64 yards, 2 TDs. You saw him dapping it up with Kenyatta in the end zone. And, he said after everything that we've been through, I had to show him some love. Eric Singleton, he's quick, he's shifty, he's shady, man. He can get upfield, and he's a burst. And I think he's going to be another weapon. But my guy for the Auburn offense and who is quickly evolving for the Auburn Tigers is Horatio Fields. 6 receptions last night, 51 yards, and a TD. I think he is slowly becoming, I don't want to say Auburn's best receiver or biggest target, but I think he's becoming that chain guy for Auburn. And what I mean by a chain receiver is the guy that you look to on 3rd down to move the chains, who's a sure-handed guy. He's going to make the catch in contested traffic. He's going to pull those balls down and make sure that the Auburn Tigers get a first down, and I think that guy is slowly becoming Horatio Fields. Him and the Jackson Arnold chemistry are definitely there. Super impressed with Horatio. Malcolm Simmons, 4 receptions, 37 yards. Thought he was going to get him a punt return last night. He had a hiccup there at the beginning of the game, but as the game went on, I slowly thought he was about to get a big-time punt return TD. But I think it's coming this year. I really do. First downs, the Auburn Tigers had 27 first downs. Ball State had 6. And they were 1 of 14 on 3rd down conversions, Ball State was. And I think the one conversion was like the first drive of the game for Ball State. It was like 3rd and 14, and they picked it up. So Auburn's got to get better. Auburn's got to get better there. We cannot continue to give up 3rd and 14, 3rd and 12, and things like that. They were penalties, Auburn penalties. 8 penalties for 65 yards. I think we have to clean that up, man. We got to clean that up. I think we had 9 at Baylor. We got to cut those down to about 4 or 5 a game. We cannot continue to keep racking up almost double-digit penalties. And then we did have the turnover there, Ryan G., with the fumble. And let's talk about this. What in the hell? What is this when they get the ball? I told y'all this was going to happen. All right. I told y'all this was going to happen. How were they going to get their points? there was going to be a trash time turnover. They were going to get it, and then they were going to kick a field goal. I said it would be 52-3 Auburn. It was 42-3 Auburn. I was 10 off. But I told y'all they were going to get a trash time turnover. I said a receiver, tight end, a young sophomore, freshman guy would fumble, and they would get it, and they would kick a field goal. Now, old buddy Kelly gets stuffed. All right, he is still churning for trying to get yards, and he immediately gets stripped by Woodyard. All right, the forward progress was not stopped. And then they come out on TV and they said that an official who couldn't even see anything is the one who blew the whistle. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all know me. I'm not a guy to complain about officiating. I don't really care to go down that rabbit hole because both teams are dealing with the same officials. But what was called last night was absolutely horrendous. It was pitiful. And it was pitiful for both teams the entire game. It was pitiful for both teams. Pitiful. And for you to blow that play dead that quick, it just shows how soft football has gotten. It shows how soft football has gotten. It really, really does. That's pitiful, man. That can't happen. The kid was still fighting for yards. He got hit and lost the football. It's not like 3 or 4 guys got up on him and they were gang tackling him to the ground and the ball squirts out. No, he got hit by one guy, head up, and lost the football. Pitiful, pitiful, pitiful. They still couldn't get 6 out of it. But they got 3. But they shouldn't even have got that because that was Auburn's football. And I hate it for the defense because you know they were trying to shut them out. Yeah, I thought they were bad, man. What's up? What's up, Cam? How you doing, man? Hey, shout out. Hold on one minute. Shout out to the Mississippi State Bulldogs, man. Come on, y'all. I know this is an Auburn channel, and I love the Auburn Tigers, and we played Mississippi State for years and all that good stuff, and they're in the Southeastern Conference. But let's give Starkville, Mississippi their flowers for last night, for the atmosphere that they brought against a top 15 team, the number 12 ranked Arizona State Sun Devils. Mississippi State brought it to them. They punished them. They let them know early that they were in the game, and Blake Shapen is a competitor. He's a dog. That fan base brought it. That coaching staff brought it. They did not back down from Arizona State last night, and they put it to them. And then the resiliency to come out after you go down under 2 minutes left, and you go throw a 60-yard bomb and score. That program has life. Proud of them, man. Everything they've been through, proud of the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Proud of them. Really am. Really, really am. Really am, man. That they were great. They were great last night. And after losing the Pirate, I've mentioned it multiple times that they deserve a solid win. They deserve a solid season. And what they did last night was so freaking impressive. And I'm ecstatic for Mississippi State. I'm ecstatic for that program, that town, that university. They deserve it more than anybody. Anybody. And I'm not a huge Brandon Walker fan, but watching his reaction last night on Twitter, I was like, dude, that's just years of going through it, kind of like us. But in my opinion, it's been worse for them. And anytime you lose a coach, and he passes the way the Pirate did unexpectedly, I think it was watching. I was watching it with my brother and my dad. My dad's massive diehard Auburn fan. Y'all know that. And he was just sitting there, and he was like, he had his spit cup over there, and he was leaning back in his recliner, and he was like, "Good for them, man. Good for them." And he was like, proud of them Stark Vegas folks, man. I just kudos, brother. Kudos. Y'all deserved it, man. Y'all deserved it. I remember when Shapen was at Baylor. Glad he found a spot at Mississippi State. Yep. He found him a spot, and like I told Cam, they don't need Blake Shapen to be a superstar because they've got a good run game. Their defense looks to be pretty stout. They don't need Blake Shapen to go out and throw for all these yards, right? Like you don't need that. You just need him to not turn the ball over, kind of like Auburn. You don't need Jackson Arnold to turn the ball over. You don't need him to go out there and throw, try to be a Heisman contender and throw picks and all that stuff. No, just manage the game. I think Cam Newton puts it great. You don't need a Josh Allen. You just need a Brock Purdy sometimes. Okay? You need a Jalen Hurts. I know Cam gets a lot of criticism because he's like, hey, Jalen Hurts he's an average guy on a really good team. And people are like, oh, that's BS, man. Jalen Hurts. And Cam's like, nah, man. Jalen Hurts is just relying on everybody else around him. Now, can he go make plays? Yes. But is he some Hall of Fame quarterback that kids are going to remember 50 years from now? And he's like, no. That's what Cam's trying to say. And you don't need a Josh Allen. Mississippi State just needs a Brock Purdy. Just go out there and manage the game. Let your defense, let your run game work. And I'm proud of Mississippi State, man. I really am. So next week, got South Alabama. I'm pretty sure they played Tulane pretty close. So let's do not sleep on South Alabama, y'all. Let's do not sleep on South Alabama. I don't know what the final was. I quit watching it when they went up really quick on Tulane. And then it's like they always fall apart. Every big game that South plays in, they always go up early, and then they just completely self-destruct and fall apart. And so, I don't know. They get hyped for SEC matchups, though. They get hyped. They beat Mississippi State a couple years ago. They've played Tennessee close. They really do get hyped for SEC matchups. So, final was 33-31. Wow, South almost come back and won. Wow. Watch out, folks. The Jags, Auburn, do not sleep on South Alabama. You will not hear the end. You will not hear the end of it if Auburn loses to South. Like the jokes, we thought the Florida State jokes were funny. These jokes would be horrendous. They would be horrendous. 33-31, man. Auburn has to play their best ball against South Alabama. We know they are no pushover. I agree, Bryce. I agree. I think you got to go in, have a clean game. Basically, kind of like, I think it needs to be cleaner than Ball State. Offensively. And you go in, you have a good game, run the football, get the pass game going. Basically, you're getting prepared for Oklahoma. You go into South. You want to get a lead early. You want to open up your stuff. Start working on Oklahoma and really prepare for what they're going to show you. I agree, the weakest link. Got to cut out the penalties. Because I watched Oklahoma last night, and I'll tell you, their defense is stout. Now, Justice Haynes had a big-time run. He broke through. Michigan, I think that was their only offense all night, was Justice Haynes. Bryce Underwood struggled. Didn't have no touch. He panicked in the pocket. I think he was just a true freshman that he struggled. And you saw signs of just being a true freshman. And Brent Venables was going to bring the house. He was going to put pressure on him. He was going to make life difficult because he knew Bryce Underwood had not seen an environment like that. So Michigan's offense was behind the eight ball pretty much all night. Oklahoma brought it to him. Oklahoma brought it to him. So, John Mateer, I was impressed with him. Did he throw the ball in harm's way a couple times? Yes. Michigan capitalize on it? No. If Auburn can capitalize when Mateer puts the ball in harm's way, because he does it quite often. He does it quite often. He threw at least, I counted at least four balls last night that could have potentially been picked off, and Michigan couldn't come down with them. Michigan couldn't come down with them. And if Auburn can just get 1 to 2, you could change the whole outcome of that game. Are you talking about Mateer? Media is high on Mateer. Yeah, they are. They are. And I think he played great last night. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that it was a bad performance or anything. I thought he managed the game well. Okay. But there's some throws where he tries to fit it into a window. And, you're talking about Bryce Underwood. But there are some throws where Mateer tries to fit it into those windows, and you can tell, like, hey, man, you're not getting away with that one, especially at the next level. You might not get away with it when we start SEC play. Yeah, Mateer is good, man. Mateer is good. He just, sometimes he fits it in them windows, and I just don't know. I don't know if we can go get a couple of them. I don't know if we can go get a couple of them. Yeah, we did have some ball security problems. Deuce had 2 of them. He, like I said earlier, he looked like a freshman. Cameron's been torturing me because I'm not sold on Mateer yet. I think he's a dog. I really do. I just think if he can cut out putting the ball in harm's way a couple of times, if he could cut that out, I think he would be really, really dang good. Our defense will be hungry for some turnovers. Yeah, that's a problem that we've had the last couple of years, is not creating enough of them. But what did we get? 1 last night? We got 1 turnover last night. So, got to create some in SEC play. Jay Knott was a non-factor. Haven't heard anything about him so far. Was the number 1 running back in the portal. He's hurt, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's hurt. Yeah, he's hurt. Okay, Odd had 4 attempts for 9 yards. Yeah, he's banged up. I know he might have played, but I know he's banged up and he's been hurt a good bit. Auburn and Oklahoma going to be a slugfest. I can't wait. Auburn's got to come out there and they have to punch Oklahoma in the mouth first, I feel like. Right, Keith? Right? I mean, that was terrible. That was pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. And then it was an official who didn't even see it. It was an official who couldn't even see the play, is what the broadcast said. I'll tell y'all who I was thoroughly impressed with, and that's Bo Perbula yesterday. I was thoroughly impressed with him. I didn't know what to expect. I'll tell you this. I think Penn State made a massive mistake. And all these people that believe in Drew Aller and all that, Penn State made a massive mistake. Massive. Because Drew Aller ain't Bo. He ain't. I don't get the hype about Drew Aller. I don't. But Bo yesterday, dog. I hope Ja can handle it. Seems like he will be able to. The atmosphere at Oklahoma. Now, Ja's going back to Oklahoma. He's going to have some intensity. He's going to have some fireworks. Got to control the butterflies. Can't come out and have a quick turnover because they're going to be on his neck. Gotta play clean football out the gate and then let the emotions die down. That's how Ja's got to handle it. He's got to let the emotions die down. Can't come out there, nerves everywhere, too hyped up. Like, you can't do all that. You got to come out there, be level-headed, get comfortable early, don't turn the ball over, and then just play. Just play. That's it. Brett, Josh seems the kind of guy that plays better when he's being booed by the opposing fans. I'm with Keith. Yeah, I like that. I haven't seen the TV broadcast yet. What happened on the Towns field goal? I couldn't tell if he kicked the ground before the ball or what. It looked like he kicked the ground. Look, I'll be honest with Towns Magoo. Real quick. Y'all know I don't like bashing players, talking bad about players. I don't go that route. But I will say this. The Towns Magoo experiment at Auburn is officially over. It's over. I do not want to see him attempt another field goal for the rest of the year. There's been no improvement. He still can't make it. It's still ugly as sin. And I feel no confidence if we put him out there in a massive situation. Give me Connor Gibbs. He's got the yips. He's got the yips, y'all, and he can't get over it. He's got the yips, and it's a problem. It's a problem. So I'm sorry. I know he's highly rated. I know he picked Auburn over Ole Miss, and that's great. But the experiment's over. It's done. It's dead. So that's where I stand on that. We need Alex healthy, and I fear that it's just not going to come to that. So I hate it, but Connor Gibbs has got to step up, or we're going to be in the same problem we were in last year. So, all right, I'm going to hop off of here today. There will be a member pod tomorrow. Y'all make sure, hopefully I can get that one published to y'all and check it out, and it'll be a lot of fun. And the Auburn Tigers are ranked, and we'll talk about it. So I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all. Love y'all. War Damn Eagle, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central. Let's go. We'll talk South Alabama. War Damn, baby.
College football is even more exciting when you've got some action on the line, and the games are even better when you're cashing in. And the Voice of College Football is the place to be to get the greatest value. Start with my picks. 75% against the money line, 58% against the spread, and I've got a 40-plus year track record. 11-0 in the college football playoff for me last year against the money line, 8-3 against the spread. And I'm just the warm-up act. Steve Merrill of Wager Talk is our ace in the hole, show stopper. 7 years with the Voice of College Football, over 30 years in the industry. Steve gives us analysis on all the big games, but you can't miss Steve's weekly under-the-radar pick. 28-12 against the spread the last 3 years. You also get picks from some of our top analysts here at the Voice of College Football, including Corey Bratta, Matt Zemek, and Steve Dace. Check out those numbers. Become a YouTube or Patreon member for just $99 per month. Go to the main channel on YouTube, click join, and then select the betting tier. Do the same thing on Patreon. Make 2025 a winner now.